We're opening up again, so you don't need to put your healthcare on hold. We're open to see you for in-person appointments. Open with extensive precautions for patient and staff safety. And open with rigorous cleaning and disinfecting at all locations, from emergency departments to primary care offices. We're open and can see you now. UPMC, life-changing medicine.
Welcome back to On the Pulse presents Andrea's Country Home Cooking. Fall is in the air and nothing screams fall like good comfort food. I want to show you how to make a delicious chicken cordon bleu soup, and we're going to make some sticky buns. It's so easy, you're not going to believe it. So come on into my kitchen and let me show you how it's done. We're gonna start with sticky buns. It's so easy, just a couple ingredients, and they're gonna taste like they're made from scratch. So let me show you how this is done. First, we're gonna start with 1/3 cup of butter. We're gonna put it in like a small saucepan. You don't need anything huge. We're gonna turn it on medium heat, and we're gonna get our butter nice and melted. Our butter is nice and melted. Now we're gonna add 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. Get that stirred in there. Then to top it off, we are gonna add some maple syrup. If you don't have maple syrup, you actually can use some Caro syrup too. Just about like 2 tablespoons, just to kind of help thicken it up. And we're gonna stir it till it gets nice and smooth and creamy. You don't have to bring it quite to a boil. You'll know because the brown sugar is gonna be nice and thin and nice liquid form, and then you know it's ready to go. Our sticky bun glaze is ready. Let me show you the next step. I'm gonna get some Pam and a pie dish. Spread the pie dish really, really well. If you forget this part, your sticky buns are not gonna come out. You're gonna take the syrup that you just made and we're gonna put it in the pie dish. Get all that goodness out of there. So this next part is gonna shock you. My sticky buns are pretty famous around here, and this is what I make it with. Crescent Pillsbury dough. And you can use any kind that you like. You can use the pizza dough and roll it up and cut it, or I use the crescent rounds. These were amazing when they came out. Super excited about these. Let me show you how easy it is. Let's get this thing open first. Now you can see that it has seams on here to cut. So we are going to cut each little seam and get these ready to go for in our pie dish. Now when I first made these, I love sticky buns, but I don't like the huge ones because I feel like you don't get a lot of the goodness, which this is all the goodness right here. I said I got to do these in like smaller form. So I kind of came up with this idea, and I ended up naming them Thai sticky buns. My son is Tyler and he is obsessed with these, and now my daughter is equally obsessed. They would have these every night for dinner if I let them. And they're super easy, you could, but not for your waistline. All right, we have all this ready to go. They're all cut. We have a nice spiral already, like we didn't have to like curl our dough or anything. So now we're gonna add some cinnamon and sugar, which these are from the Pioneer Woman, and then I just made cinnamon and sugar mix because I make these pretty often. And then you're just gonna sprinkle the tops of them. You don't have to get carried away. And really, if you're not big on cinnamon, you don't even have to do this part. They'll still taste just as amazing. Now you're gonna flip it down on the side that you just put the cinnamon and sugar on. Space them out about like a 1/2 inch apart. They will plump up when you bake them. They'll be nice and full, so don't worry about gaps. It'll get filled in really nice. And then we're gonna take the cinnamon and sugar. Sprinkle some more on the top. Now, my oven is set at 375 degrees, and we're gonna bake these roughly about 15 to 16 minutes till they're nice and golden brown on the top. Our sticky buns are ready to go. They smell delicious. To look at these, you won't even know that I use a crescent dough. And listen, you can make homemade dough if you have time for it. We're just so busy this time in our lives, and this is just an easy way to make a delicious dessert. It doesn't have to be hard. You're gonna let this sit for about like 30 seconds, just until the bubbles calm down. And then we're gonna flip it immediately on a plate because you don't wanna let it sit or all that gooiness is gonna stick to your pie plate. So we're just waiting for all these bubbles to go down. Okay, now it's time to flip. Let's see if we can get this done. 2 hot pads, you're just gonna flip it real quick. Oh man, look at that. And boom. There is some amazing tasting sticky buns. I really can't believe that my kids aren't out here going, Mom, I smell sticky buns. Because the house smells amazing. Next up is going to be chicken cordon bleu soup. This soup is so amazing and it's sure to be a hit at any fall party or for dinner when it's really cold out. It's going to start with 1 stick of butter. Now I'm making a double batch and I'm going to explain in a little bit why I'm doing a double batch. But let's get our butter melted and get started on the soup first. We're going to turn the heat up to medium. We're going to get the stick of butter melted. And we're pretty much making like a roux right now to make sure that our soup's going to be nice and thick. Our butter's nice and melted. Next we're going to add 1/2 cup of flour. We're going to stir it and bring it to a boil just until it gets thick. This should only take about like a minute or 2. All right, next for the soup, we're going to add all of our liquids. So we're going to add 5 cups of milk. You can use 2% whole milk, whatever you have at home. Okay, now we're going to add some half and half. So I have 1 quart of half and half. We're going to dump the whole thing in here. Now, to get the chicken flavor, we're going to add 2 chicken bouillon cubes. You can use any kind that you have. Give it a little stir, and we are going to add some chicken broth. Now when I bake my chicken, which I will tell you about in a little bit, I saved the broth from the chicken that I baked, and I saved all the goodness in the pan, and it's all going to go in the soup because canned chicken broth just isn't the same, even though we are going to have to use that. So I'm going to dump about a cup of chicken broth in here too. All right. Now we're going to bring this to a nice light boil while our milk and everything's heating up. We're going to cut up some chicken and ham. Now I already started it. So we want to get, this is roughly about 6 pounds of chicken for a double batch of the soup. And then I got baked ham, which you can buy at a local grocery store at a deli, or you can even have them shredded if you'd rather have them shredded. I like to do it in chunks. So we're going to cut up chicken. Now for my chicken, all I did is I seasoned it overnight. I baked it the next morning. It's just boneless, skinless chicken breast, and you can use your favorite seasoning that you like. I just used a Dollar General Clover Valley chicken seasoning. It's $1 at the Dollar General. I use it a lot. Season it, bake it for an hour at 350. Let it cool and chop it up into little cubes. Next, we're going to add 2 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese. I just cut it up into little chunks. Our mixture's coming to a real light boil. That's what you want. You don't want milk to come to a full boil or it's going to boil over on you real quick. So slowly add your cream cheese, and we're going to stir this until the cream cheese gets fully melted and dissolved into the soup. And once this cream cheese softens, this is when all the magic happens with the soup. Our cream cheese pieces are pretty much all nice and melted. So now we're going to add the meat that we have all chopped ready to go. So we're going to add all of our chicken and do it nice and slow because it's super, super hot. Next, we're going to add our ham, which would be about 5 cups if you're doing 2 batches. Give it a nice stir. Now we're going to add the Swiss cheese because it's not chicken cordon bleu without Swiss cheese. So you want to get about, well, for double batch I have 2 pounds, but you want to get a pound to a pound and a half, depends on how well you like Swiss cheese. We're going to pop this in our soup. Just do a couple slices at a time so it has time to melt. You're gonna keep stirring your soup and you wanna get your cheese nice and melted. And when it's smooth and creamy, you know your soup's ready. I'm gonna have to give this a try. I'm gonna give this a quick taste test to see if it needs anything. It's perfect. That Swiss cheese and the cream cheese and the chicken and the ham together, until you try it, you don't understand, but it's just like this pop of flavor that is amazing in a soup. I mean, chicken cordon bleu soup, how can you beat it? Cannot wait to dig into this ooey gooey goodness right here. I'm gonna get a sticky bun, I have a little bit of soup. I'm gonna give this a whirl. I think first we'll start with the soup. Get some chicken and some ham in there. It's so good. It doesn't need a thing. There's something about soup with sticky buns on a cold, full night that you cannot beat. Try a sticky bun. Oh my gosh. You gotta try these like today. So if you like what we made this month, stick around for next month. It's Thanksgiving and I have some pretty cool things to show you guys that you can make with your Thanksgiving dinner. Thanks so much for cooking with me in my kitchen today. I hope you enjoyed and happy fall, y'all.